Thank you for joining me today. I have these two chairs that a friend brought round yesterday, and the only thing that's wrong is the arms. This is just the base of the chair. She kept the seat cushions, which is fair enough. Nothing is wrong with those, but these have just worn down, so I'm going to talk a little bit about them and show you how to put them together. So let's get on with it. I've balanced a bag right on the side here because this is going to make a really bad mess, and now I'm going to very carefully remove it. I'll just start here. There's a staple there. This side is the worst out of all of them. It's crunched, it feels bitty and lumpy. It's quite horrible. So I assume, actually I can see there's a little bit of what used to be foam, and it is petrified. Not scared, but petrified as in solid. Actually it is quite powdery. I don't know how old this foam is, but it's certainly been past its sell-by date for a long time. I'll just pull this out and pull that off, and then slowly work all the way around this. This is not something I enjoy doing. I dislike it when foam has gone like this, but it is solid lumps like that. It goes like sand. That's why I put a bag there to catch anything. And hopefully most of it will go in the bag. That's unusual. There's fabric there. Let me undo this. Let's see what's going on. As I move this, you see all this sand falling out. Let's pick this one up. They've got another layer underneath. This should actually be cotton wadding, so I've got 2 layers to do. The last upholsterer felt a bit lazy. Maybe there was a little bit of give still in the old one and they just put new over the top. That's fine. I am taking out tiny tacks from the original. There's staples in the top cover, but tiny tacks in the rest. If you've got tiny tacks, just be really careful, because if you miss them and you stand on them, I can assure you it hurts a lot. I'm just going to carry on releasing my sand. Yuck. That's why I always try to catch rubbish in a bag before I let it fall on the floor. I'm going to just continue taking this off. At least now we know why this was lumpy and bumpy. Obviously at some point somebody put their elbow on it and it just broke what was still left under here into pieces. I have here medium density foam. I'm putting foam on because I know most of you, if you're home upholsterers, this is probably the easiest thing for you to get. It is 2 inches high, which is 5 centimeters, by about 1 3/4 wide, which is, give or take, 4.5 centimeters wide, by about 6 inches long. It goes just from where this dip comes up at the back to just to the dip as it comes up at the front. Now I always start at the back. I'm going to put the 2 inches up and the 1 3/4 so it's as even as possible. I fold the foam over so it's only going to go into this little section. Let's get that into place. And at the front. I'm going to come to the side and I'm going to put 2 staples, one either side of here. That's so that it won't twist too much. I'll put 2 on the inside as well. So it's held in with 6 staples to start off with. I have some fabric. I've cut Dacron to match. It has a pile, and I've got the pile going down, which I've marked here so I know where that is. I'm going to line this up with the frame, try to make it as even as possible either side. If you want to, you could put a center mark. That's perfectly okay too. I try to put it where I want it on the foam because the foam has a little bit of resistance. Let's put that there. Like that. And then at the front I'm going to hold it down. I'm not pulling the fabric forward as such, I'm just holding it down and into place but not stretching it. And I'm going to put another one here just behind these bobbles because I'm going to cut up to those. Pull that, is a little back but it'd be fine. Holding the fabric even either side, I'm going to push it down until I come to the top of the ridge on the inside. Pull it into position against that ridge. As you come to the back, don't pull it back, don't pull it forward, but sort of at an angle because you want it to curve at the top. Hold it both sides and pull it in. I've got this side here from about here back. I'm going to pull this over so it looks nice and rounded, and I'm going to pull this down so that the base of my staple gun is just above the bar here. So I'll just pull that down to start off with. As I come into the corner, I'm going to just pull it down here and slightly across. Once that's in, doesn't matter which side you work as long as you make sure you've got enough fabric on both sides to go into place. Down to start off with, and then I'm going to pull it forward like that. Once I've got that side in, I'm going to start pulling this side in as well. I'll just cut up here first into place. See, I'm not right on there. I'm just going to trim all of this back and around. Personally, I prefer to put cotton wadding in, but I know not everybody's going to be able to get that. And then I'm just going to cut on round here as well until everything is cut back evenly. Now this is right on the edge. Sometimes it'll be above, but make sure it's not below, otherwise you've got problems. Again, I've put it on. It's a bit wonky, but once it's all pulled in, it'll do its own thing. Again, here's my corner off, so that goes on the inside. I always treat the dacron and the fabric as one piece. Reason is the dacron is going to hide any lumps and bumps. If I put it in separately, then I might end up with lumps and bumps, and I really don't want to do that. That's why I do it this way. And again, I'm not pulling it, I'm just pushing it down. This will all pull in and pull it into position for me. Pop that down, hold it in place like that, and then staple it. Mind your fingers. Again, I'll start in the middle of the side, push that down and staple it. I'm going to come forward this time along here to the front. I'm making sure that the fabric is equal. I can feel it over the ridge on the other side. There we go. And then I'll pull it in on the other side into place. I don't like putting my knee against it because it vibrates through. It's quite uncomfortable. I'll do this way and then the other side. I prefer to have more fabric because if I do something wrong, I've got the ability to change things. But the lady had already cut the fabric to size. I'm pulling it down and out. It's not very obvious, but that's what I'm doing. And now I'll do the inside. And again, cut everything back. By treating the dacron as part of the fabric, I don't have any lumps and bumps here. It's all gone in nice and evenly, and also around here. So I'm really pleased with that. Now the lady chose this gimp to go on here, and I am going to just put a little bit of glue over about the first inch, like that. Fold that over and try to catch down anything that might be a bit fluffy. I think that will go in when I put it in place. Alrighty, I'm going to pop some glue from the center along. I usually, when I do this, put a little bit on the wood underneath like this. Do a fair length. Pop the gimp into place, and I usually start around about the center of the arm, following the shape of the wood like that. Hold it in place for a little minute until it's all stuck down. If there's any glue, just roll it off with your fingers. You don't want it on there. And I usually use the clear glue because I just don't want lots of white glue poking through the gimp. I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to put it top and bottom. Oh, that's a bit too much. So I'll drag that over, and then once that's glued, put that into place too. There's a little bit of glue that's over the top, which I will pull out so it's not that visible. That sometimes happens. There we go. Again, I'm going to put 2 layers of glue, one along the bottom of the fabric like that, and one along the join here on the wood. I found that that kind of keeps everything in place. Bring the gimp round. I usually push it up from underneath so that if there's any straggling bits of thread, it gets pushed into place. And again, wipe any excess glue off. And then I'll just carry on around and across the top. I actually dislike hot glue because it gets absolutely everywhere, but anyway. Again, push it in from the outside, roll away any extra glue. I haven't glued it, but I'm just going to measure it off to about 1 inch over the side, like that, and cut it. So I'm just going to glue into the corner there to about 1/2 inch from my join, top and bottom. Now I leave it about 1/2 inch because I want to be able to turn the end over And again, just push it in from the bottom up and into position, so any straggling bits and pieces will be caught in. Just as I did at the beginning, put a little bit of glue on here to hold it in place. And then I measure to the join and roll it back if I need to, a little bit further back. It matches, it looks pretty tight. And again, I am just going to put plenty of glue in there to hold absolutely everything in place. Any loose ends, push them down and then hold that where it needs to be. Make sure there's no strings of glue. Thank you for joining me on this little project. I think they've turned out really nicely. It was just over an hour's work for one pair, so nice and easy. And it's just a way of adding a different dimension to your worn out furniture, because the arms are usually the first part that goes on these chairs. You can do snazzy fabric or whatever you fancy doing, and this is a nice way of doing it. I used foam because it's easy for most of you to get rather than the cotton wadding. And remember to treat the dacron and the top fabric as one piece, and you should get a nice result. I think she's going to be absolutely thrilled with this. If you want to see more from me, please subscribe, hit the bell button, and a few thumbs up would be absolutely brilliant. And in the meantime, see you later. Take care. Ciao.